Hi, everyone. It's March the 11th. It's been a Wednesday, and we're glad to have you with us on what's been a pretty decent day weather-wise. I hope you've enjoyed it. Maybe get out and enjoy a little of it this evening because that's pretty much going to be it for a while. We've got clouds and showers, possibly some stormy weather in your forecast tomorrow and tomorrow evening as well. I'll give you a timeline and all the details I can in just a few moments. A few other things to announce, but the majority of tonight's program will be spent, as was last night's, speaking about the coronavirus. And I'm going to try to keep it limited to just local and state information and touch on some national headlines, but the majority of our focus, as is, of course, the premise of this broadcast, news from right here at home. And in that regard, we'll talk with local leaders today. I sat down with three of our local leaders from the city, the county, and school levels, and essentially, just in a general statement, I guess I could say, developments and announcements from all over the state have been coming at such a fast pace today, it's been kind of hard to keep up. I do have a condensed list real quickly that I'll run through in regards to announcements and closings, universities, schools, sporting events, and more on the local, state, and national level. Some serious points of interest and information. Locally, for county, city, and our schools, they are still running as normal, but that is getting close to being on an hour-by-hour situation. I'll let them explain more in just a few moments. Of course, the governor had two updates today, one this morning, one just at 5 o'clock, and I'll have some details from both of those in just a few moments. Before we get to our local news, just real quickly, these are the most important that I believe or most significant announcements in regards to the coronavirus and the response thereto coming out of the news today. The World Health Organization this morning declaring the coronavirus outbreak a pandemic. Now, what is a pandemic? They consider a pandemic the worldwide spread of a new disease for which most people do not have any immunity thereto. It's able to easily infect people and spread from person to person in an efficient and sustained way. Italy weighing even tighter restrictions on their daily life, and they've almost essentially shut down the country as of right now. Their death toll has surpassed 630 people. The United States virus deaths now total 31, well over 1,000 confirmed cases. The governor of Washington, for example, one of many, banning large events of more than 250 people, including sports, in virtually the entire Seattle metro area. Washington state has the most cases of any of the 50 states so far at almost 24 to 25. The governor of New York also saying that schools and other gathering places are going to be closed for 2 weeks in parts of New York, suburb of New York City. 173 of the state's cases just out of New Rochelle. And a lot of major decisions are to be made and are forthcoming in regards to everything from the opening day for baseball, the NCAA, that decision, the tournament, that decision has been made. I'll have that for you in just a few seconds, and a host of other news and information. So here, real quickly, are the latest announcements that have come from various states and entities. As Ohio, as a state, announced its fourth case earlier today, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine said that the NCAA tournament games in Ohio will be played without spectators. And on the very heels of his announcement, the NCAA tournament president, or the president of the NCAA, Mark Emmert, says that the entire NCAA tournament, men's and women's, will be played essentially without fans. Only the most needed of staff and very limited of family will be allowed to watch personally NCAA tournament games. San Francisco is banning public gatherings of over 1,000. That affects the next two Golden State Warriors home games. They will be played without fans. Two SEC tournament games tonight are going on as scheduled and in regular fashion, but that too is a decision that is expected to be made later on tonight. We expect the SEC tournament to as well, after those initial games tonight, follow in the suit of not having any fans. The NBA also expected to add to the list of the Warriors games at any hour as well. Here in Kentucky, the girls' Sweet 16 tipped off today at Rupp Arena. It's still going on as scheduled, and I'm told at this hour the boys' Sweet 16, which is scheduled to tip off next week at Rupp, will go on as scheduled so far. No mention of restriction of any fans for the boys' Sweet 16 or the girls, which is already underway. And as for universities, we knew yesterday that Berea College announced that it's canceling its classes for the rest of the semester. Seniors getting their diplomas, but graduation ceremonies postponed, maybe even canceled. And at other college and universities, the University of Kentucky announced today that they will take their spring break and then have online classes only for 2 weeks after spring break. That takes them up through about the 6th of April without having any students on campus. Morehead State University was said to be meeting, I believe, with Dean and other officials at around 4:30. I have not heard a decision from Morehead State University as of right now. The University of Louisville, Western Kentucky University, also extending their spring breaks and then adding online-only classes for 2 weeks thereafter. Just a few of the colleges in the state and around the nation that have made those tough decisions. And many students and parents as well are awaiting word of a possible Morehead case of the coronavirus. I was hopeful and indicated too that decision might be coming this afternoon. So far I have no word, but physicians at the St. Clair Regional Medical Center in Morehead say that they did have a patient which, out of an abundance of caution, as they put it, was being assessed for the coronavirus and actually transferred to another facility for situations or symptoms not related to the virus, but that those tests were pending to see if they may indeed have their first case in Morehead. Businesses like Licking Valley RACC implementing their own plans. Licking Valley RACC telling me today that they have gone to a level 2 situation, which is basically increasing sanitation and asking those to limit their visits to the office and pay your bills and manage your account online if you can do so. And going back to, or what actually preceding what will be the governor's statement in regards to jails across the state of Kentucky, I have this just in from the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center, who confirms that there are 0 cases of the COVID-19 virus at the Big Sandy. However, they are taking preventative measures against it. The lobby will be closed to all but essential personnel. Class D workers programs are suspended. That means no workers will be seen out in the field and working as we've had here in Sagersville and Montgomery County for quite some time. They will not be permitted to do so for the foreseeable future. And visitation at the Big Sandy Jail is now closed. Commissionary deposits are to be done online at touchpaydirect.com. If you have any questions, you can, of course, call that facility as well at 877-578-3658. All non-essential services and programs throughout the Big Sandy Jail have been suspended. That's as condensed a version of announcements on those levels as I can get. When we come right back after these messages, we will have the updates from the governor this morning's and this afternoon's, and then that from local officials. Has spring ever arrived at the seasonal shop? If you're tired of those gray, rainy days, you need to come in because the shop is filled wall to wall with spring arrivals. The new Charlie Page spring line is filled with beautiful colors, prints, and styles for everyone. They've got accessories for every occasion, new jewelry, bags, and shoes. And spring is the perfect time for some redecorating or adding a few new accessories to your home. And their home decor is some of the most beautiful they've ever had. Farmhouse, traditional, equestrian, rustic, they have it all. So come into the shop and let them help you add to your home. And remember, they also offer wedding and baby registry and free local delivery at the seasonal shop in downtown Sagersville. At Sagersville National Bank, they know your house is much more than your home. It's an investment, and for many of us, the biggest we'll ever make. And whether it's for needed repairs and maintenance or a new addition or renovation to give you some more room and more equity, let Sagersville National Bank deal with all the financial work and worry. Real and real competitive, hometown, homegrown, home improvement loans at Sagersville National. It can be one of the hardest parts of being a parent. You can beg them, bribe them, hold them down and try to force them, and sometimes you still can't get them to take their medicine. Well, problem solved at Parkway Pharmacy with Flavor X. Let your kids customize their medicine with some of the best flavors that really do taste great and It's totally free with your child's prescription at Parkway Pharmacy. So stop the suffering, theirs and yours, for free, and get your Flavor X flavored medicines at Parkway Pharmacy in Salyersville. If your spring projects include gravel, rock, sand, or drainage pipe, your dollar will go farther at Tomahawk Feed and Farm Supply here in Salyersville. It's always in stock and ready for pickup and delivery. And now there's 2 locations for all of your feed and farm needs. Tomahawk has the region's largest inventory and lowest prices on all pet and livestock feed, gates, fencing, and everything your farm needs. In Salyersville off 114 at Red Light number 3, and in West Liberty on Liberty Road behind the Ford store. Tomahawk Feed and Farm Supply.
SSI and disability cases are harder to win these days. You need all the help you can get. If the government has turned you down, I will not. Many factors are considered when a claim is being processed, like your age, education, physical, and mental disabling conditions. When it comes time to winning your disability case, you should not face a federal judge alone. You need an attorney who is experienced, determined, hardworking, knowledgeable, and dedicated to helping you win benefits that you deserve. If you need help with your SSI or disability case, call me, Donald Wayne McFarland, and let me go to work for you.
I'm Dr. Jason Zimmerman at Highlands ARH, the healthcare system of Appalachia.
Need an oil change? Are your brakes shot? Are you ready to turn the wick up on your diesel or lift up and accessorize your 4x4? Or get that dent fixed once and for all? Then call the professionals at Black Smoke Performance for all of your maintenance needs and auto body repair, from insurance collisions to full restoration projects. Black Smoke Performance on May Drive in Dixie of Salyersville, 349-8785. Governor Andy Beshear this morning said all of us in Kentucky should avoid all large crowds. We should not be going to church services this Sunday or anything of that nature in an effort to try to stop the spread of COVID-18. He says, as I referred to you a few moments ago, speaking of the Big Sandy Jail, that they're closing all state prisons to visitors and other non-essential individuals, and similar correctional facilities as well. He was also asking school districts to develop plans to be able to close on short notice. While no closures on a small or large scale have been made necessary as of yet, he says it's very important that they have those plans in place, which we'll hear from Superintendent of Schools Scott Hilton on that subject in just a few moments. So with 20, he also said, new tests done today, we still stood at a total of 8 confirmed cases here in Kentucky, which is where we were at this time last night. The governor said there were 54 individuals tested before they reached those 8 confirmed cases, and of those 8 cases, all are considered to be stable, improving, or close to recovered. With the governor describing the procedures and preparedness that he is recommending and mandating as intentionally aggressive. He reminded everyone of the state of emergency, which of course was declared by his office, saying that he continues to stay in contact with all 120 of Kentucky's judge executives and emergency management directors, while stressing the state's website for the absolute best, most accurate, and reliable information, and not social media. He reminded everyone 60 years of age and older and with compromised immune systems to stay away from large crowds, and said they should not go on any cruise ships or get on a plane to travel anywhere. And he reminded everyone and asked for their understanding, and of course his mandate that no one, except in situations of an end of life, be allowed to visit any of our nursing homes or long-term care facilities. With the governor then announcing new steps today in regards to our jails and our schools and other bodies of the state.
New steps that we're providing today, and there are a number of these steps. Again, while we only have 8 cases, we know that this is community spread, and we think it's very important to get ahead of it. First, we're closing all of our state prisons and similar facilities to visitors. This is a step that other states are taking, and we believe, given the confined space, that it is necessary. I'm going to ask Judge Noble in a minute to talk about some other things we're going to do to make sure those prisoners can still contact their loved ones, which means, I believe, some additional free calls and other opportunities. We know that it's going to be hard, again, on families and on prisoners where that visit is so important. But this is about protecting their health, the health of our corrections officers, and making sure that we get through this. We will be talking to our jailers today on a call here in a little bit. We're going to be providing them similar guidance. We're asking our schools and school systems, and we will have a call with our superintendents later, to develop plans to be able to close on short notice if necessary. That could be as short as 72 hours. And while we are not there yet, it is very possible that in the future we're going to have to ask schools in Kentucky to close down for a period of time. We want to be prepared. We want to make sure that if we do that, kids still get the meals that they desperately need and the care that they need. We're giving everybody some more aggressive guidance today on crowds. We are recommending that every individual in Kentucky do what they can to minimize their interaction and going to large meetings or groups. That includes community services. So I'll announce today that we are going to cancel the prayer breakfast that we were going to have this week. You know, faith is very important to me. This prayer breakfast is very important to me. But the life and health of our people is just as important to me. I don't believe that whether you go to church during this period of time is a test of faith. I believe God gives us wisdom to protect each other, and we should do that. And I'm going to recommend that our churches across Kentucky cancel their services for this weekend. Again, I know that that's a big step. I know that some won't agree with it.
Bashir also said that the state is suspending all non-essential travel for state employees, and he is recommending businesses across the Kentucky do the same as well for any out-of-state travel. All of that information from his morning update at 5 o'clock. The governor then as well coming back to issue another update stressing for everyone to stay calm. He said that also, interestingly, the World Health Organization, in reaching their pandemic status, referred to alarming levels of inaction, meaning that a lot of states, cities, others not acting perhaps serious or aggressively enough, and he says that he feels as though Kentucky is. There were 11 tests done today. All came back negative with the exception of one, which was inconclusive. He also said that the resident from Jefferson County, one of those initial few and 8, has been discharged and is in home isolation and doing very well, and that the next month here in Kentucky, how we all respond is going to be critical for the state as a whole. I just want to add this personally, with all the uncertainty and worry and concern, I think it is a time that we all take it upon ourselves to seriously and to take very seriously those warnings and make some smart and what might be some seemingly hard decisions over the next couple of weeks and heed all of those warnings. We'll hear from our local leaders on what they're doing and how close they are to making some significant changes to our daily lives in just a second.
The coverage you need when you need it most. We are you. We are Appalachian Wireless.
Creekside Stitching and Feed is the place to go for all of your custom embroidery needs. Shirts, caps, jackets, and more. And they've got the best prices on value-packed dog food, blue ribbon beef mix, kickin' chicken, and shell and cracked corn. And premium quality gates, hay rings, and bunk feeders, plus metal carports and garages as low as $1,400 installed. For all of your embroidery, feed, and farm supplies, Creekside Stitching and Feed, 1 mile up Bear Branch off of Route 30. Hey everybody, you've got to check out our pet of the week. This is Reuben. He is as cool as he is handsome. Reuben is an indoor cat that used to live in a home with 3 other kitties. He weighs about 7-8 pounds and he's about a year, maybe 2 years of age. And if you would like to rescue this sweet boy or give him a forever home, please visit the Johnson County Animal Shelter or call 606-789-7387. Our Pet of the Week, sponsored by Dr. Tom Abel of Able Eyes in Lexington and at ableeyes.com.
At work, we do a lot of live shows with crowds. I used to sit up there and not really know who was looking at me. I was finally tired of contacts and glasses, tired of paying for contacts, and I just decided I need to get these eyes fixed. Able Eyes was great. If someone asked me if they should get LASIK, I would absolutely recommend it. At first, like many people, I'm hesitant, but after going to Able Eyes and they walk me through it, I know that it's a quick and painless process, and I recommend going to Able Eyes. They were the best.
Right now, you can take advantage of their lowest prices of the year at $1,800 per eye.
Don't drive or let your family drive in this or this before doing this. Stopping at Conley Tire in Staffordsville for brakes, oil, alignment, and of course, tires. Thousands of tires in stock every day to fit anything with 6 months no interest financing and over 33 years of quality service with a smile. Conley Tire in Staffordsville. Want to spend some more time enjoying the extra daylight this week and less time cooking and save money? Bring this coupon out of this week's edition of the Sagersville Independent into your Sagersville Lee's Famous Recipe and get $5 off a 16-piece family pack. That's 16 pieces of chicken any way you like it, 2 pints of mashed potatoes and gravy, 2 pints of coleslaw, and 8 buttery biscuits. $5 off. Get the coupon out of this week's Sagersville Independent and get to your Sagersville Lee's Famous Recipe. Magoffin County Heating, Cooling, and Refrigeration with professional, licensed, and certified commercial and residential service technicians that can maintain and repair all manufacturers with new and old installation and financing available. Serving Magoffin, Morgan, Lawrence, Martin, Johnson, Floyd, and Breathitt counties. Magoffin County Heating, Cooling, and Refrigeration, 349-1058 or 225-6779. With decades of experience and happy customers all over Kentucky, All Pro Gutter Works and Construction is now proud to offer long-term and 0% financing on their home improvements and home construction. That's new windows and floors, new bathrooms and kitchens, new roofs, siding, decks and porches, new turnkey homes and offices, and of course, continuous guttering in 21 colors. Locally, family-owned and operated, and waiting on your next project and phone call. All Pro Gutter Works. Now for your local update in response to COVID-19. On the heels of the governor's and the state's recommendations, local leaders say that they are putting plans in place which will be able to be implemented in the matter of hours, taking measures that may well be needed in the very, very near future as it pertains to our schools staying open, our community center, our seniors, county employees, and the like, with them saying that it is, as of this hour, business as normal, but that they are taking necessary precautions and that they will be prepared if that changes at any time. This was myself sitting down earlier today with our superintendent of schools, our mayor, and our county judge. The mayor, of course, also serving as our public health director.
The school system decided we're going to keep going to school. There's no going to be changing that. We want to reiterate that everything's fine. There's no cases in at this time, no cases in this county or any surrounding counties, and we just want to go as business as usual with making some precautions, and just precautions. Nothing that's happened that's causing us to do that. Other than that, we're trying to alleviate anything that might cause problems in the future, and that's being proactive right now and then being reactive when something happens. If there's any positive case of coronavirus, we will notify the public. It will not be kept secret. It will be notified as quick as we find out, and we will then start putting our emergency measures in to make sure that we can keep it under control and it does not spread. And you know, a kid goes in the doctor's office and has 2 or 3 symptoms that they think is the flu or the strep throat, and a lot of the symptoms overlap with flu, strep throat, and this coronavirus. So, you know, until it's diagnosed, and if somebody does come into our medical offices or doctor's offices, they are screened, and if they think they're even close to having something that would be the coronavirus, they're put in isolation until they get tested, sent to the state, and then we get a positive result. Then they would know, the public will know, and then we put in the measures. But at that time, there's nothing been done, nothing in that to that effect, everything has been negative, and most everything we get now is flu and strep throat, and that's the same thing. And that's why Floyd County's closed their schools, is because of flu and strep throat, not a coronavirus issue.
As for county government and services, the community center, senior citizen center, and other events, Judge Matthew Wireman says they too are monitoring everything that's happening closely to see if or when any cancellations or closings will be necessary.
As far as actual activities, we've not stopped or quit doing anything as far as allowing all the governmental functions to go on, but we have enacted enhanced cleaning procedures at all of our facilities. We got some guidance from the state on that. So all those high-touch areas, as they're called, are being cleaned extensively and more often than what we normally would do. But we are being proactive. We are on top of it. We don't have any cases, as Pete said, but we don't want to be reactive and wait till it happens. We want to be proactive and make sure that we got all the plans and contingencies in place, and that's basically what we've done.
As of now, we're going on with our activities. There's a few activities that are going to come up in Frankfort and Louisville over the next few days that I've been in contact with some of the superintendents. And
now on for the school system, which of course represents the largest portion of our population. Superintendent Scott Helton says that for now, the schools will continue their day-to-day operations and classes will remain in session, and that some scheduled activities will go on with others under review. There's an upcoming middle school academic state competition that may be in question, as well as an archery competition as well in Louisville this weekend that attracts some 7,000 kids from across Kentucky, and that a decision regarding the attendance of those and other events will be coming soon.
right now, we're just trying to see what the plan would be in case we were out, and your children could come home and talk to you. That we've talked about the coronavirus at the school level, but this is in conjunction with the health department. We're kind of following those guidelines, and we're giving them things out there to try to make them safer. It's about sanitizing and cleaning and hand washing, and so if your children come home and talking about that, these same things that we're going to go over will be put on the district's Facebook pages at each school level and the district level. So if you've got any questions about what we discussed with your children, you can find it there. The other thing is, we have not made a decision at this time on as to what we do in the future as far as days that we're going to be out, if we're going to be out at all. But we're going to make some plans, and I'm meeting with school personnel to make provisions, and it's just like Mr. Shepard talked about. We're being proactive. We're trying to anticipate the worst case scenario. If we have to go out of school, then what do we do? And we've had our NTI days, and this is a plan that we've used this year only, and the discussion at the state level would be if something comes down the path that we would have to take off school, those NTI days would be extended, and we would follow that same format that we've already been currently doing. So my discussions with principals and sending them back to their schools would be to make provisions to plan in case we are going to be out, have some lesson plans ready, have some activities going on. But this is all something just being proactive. It's not something we may even use, but we've got to stay ahead of it. Just like Pete said, the best thing we can do as a school system and as a community is to be cautious, try to avoid large groups, and not overreact, but react. And we need to be, if your children don't feel well, don't send them to school. But if they're okay, we don't have any cases. We don't have any evidence that there's any in Eastern Kentucky. So we're going on as of now, and we're going to follow and work closely with KDE, the governor's office, the county health department, and we work more in line with what the county health department recommends than anyone else when it comes to the health issues.
And lastly, in tonight's update, an open invitation for anyone who wants to be in the know, whether it's on an individual, or professional, business, or other level. There's going to be a webinar at the Montgomery County Health Department in the morning at 10:30 that's going to be held by the state, in which Public Health Director and Mayor Pete Shepard says there will be a lot of valuable information.
Our local emergency planning committee, which is made up of individuals in the community, such as a nurse from the health department, our fire chief, and other individuals, have a meeting once a month to go over plans for emergencies like this. And tomorrow they're going to meet at the health department, and we're inviting all community leaders who want to come. We're inviting the fire chiefs, anybody that really wants to come, but mostly anybody that has to do with crowds, or anybody that has to do like the senior citizens or anything like that. There's going to be a webinar at 10:30 with the state, and they're going to go over a lot of things about the coronavirus, a lot of the statistics, and a lot of the things that we've just been going over, like hand washing, reiterate again. But we wanted to get all the leaders together, all the people that's involved with personnel that might need to know, to be in the know, and just keep them informed, because I think the greatest thing to keep this thing under control is to have people informed, and we want to make sure that they are informed with the health department. So we're having them all come to the health department tomorrow at 10:30 to watch the webinar, and anybody else that wants to come is perfectly invited to come and sit in and see what's going on. And I think it'll be very informative, and if we get a good crowd and other people want, we might tape it and show it again maybe another time for other people. So come out if you want to, but it's another thing about being proactive. We want everybody to know what's going on, and I think the best thing with any kind of thing like this is to be informed. The better you're informed, the less we have problems, and that's what we're trying to do.
A few more items of business before we leave, also with the intents or hopes of getting back to some regular programming tomorrow. We've got a few other reports that we're working on. Also tomorrow, the next edition of the Sagersville Independent will be out. We hope you get one. A wonderful write-up in regards to the very important and significant need for volunteers here in the Magoffin County area to help our friends and our loved ones and our local families. We hope you can pick that up and give that some serious consideration. Also, Heather sat in today as we had talk about the local preparation and perhaps more information than I had in regards to preparing for the response here locally for the coronavirus. And Census 2020 is here. Heather, our editor, is on the local committee, and we all need to make sure we fill out the proper census information. That is a must read. Kindergarten registration. And we're going to take you back, courtesy of Grover Arnott, attorney at law, who sponsors our historical page. We're going to take you back to the Pee Wee basketball and cheerleaders of March of 1997. How cute does that sound? With that said, here's the last item of business. Mostly cloudy skies tonight, possibly strong, maybe some stormy weather tomorrow, as we've got some warm air and then some cold air moving in behind it, and definitely rain across the board, across your Licking Valley RACC outlook. With that in mind, keep in mind, we'll have mostly cloudy skies tonight, a calm wind, relatively mild out there. We'll see about the mid-40s for ultimate nighttime lows. A pretty decent, calm, comfortable evening out there all in all, but that's all of it. Tomorrow, as we do have, as I said, a warm front and then a cold front following, we'll pick up to about 70 degrees for your Thursday, 53 tomorrow night. In the middle of all that, and a little bit after as well, winds out of the southwest, 6 to 16 miles per hour on average. Keep in mind that is not associated with any storms that may develop, which could mean much more severe winds. And then showers mainly in the afternoon after 2, and then rolling right on through your Thursday and Thursday night. That cold front will take us down almost 20 degrees from Thursday into your Friday, about 53 for Friday. Close to freezing on Friday night, but not quite, at 34. A lingering chance of showers to the tune of 30%. That is mainly by around 10 or 11 Friday morning, and then temperatures are going to fall to around 53 by about 11 that morning, and they'll fall on down to 34 Friday night. Winds out of the northwest, 7 to 22, 23 miles per hour on your Friday. And I don't have any good news for you weekend-wise as of right now. I could say, I guess I do, in the form that I don't see any severe weather right now, but definitely showers rolling on in through Saturday. A 30% chance after 3 in the afternoon, but by later on that evening and overnight, showers likely. Temperatures 50 and 39 for your high and low on Saturday, and another rainy day for the latter half of your weekend on Sunday. Mainly early, but still lingering showers thereafter into the afternoon. 53 for your high Sunday, 44 for your low. And like I said, it looks as though we start off next work week on a wet note. Cloudy and a 50% chance of rain on Monday at 63 degrees for your high. Tuesday, 70 degrees, more warm air, but more rain and clouds. And Wednesday, still into the low 70s, but more rain and more clouds with them. One last very important item of business that I need to share. Again, going back to not having time to do our normal community calendar and a few other segments. One funeral service announcement which has just come in this afternoon, and one that many will, of course, find sorrowful if they haven't heard already. But 91-year-old Escanova Jackson of Sagersville passed away this week. He was married to Teddy Lynn Howard Jackson, who survives. Escanova is also survived by sons Ralph, David, and Mark, and daughters Sandra Pack and Carol Goebel. Visitation is going to be after 6 tomorrow, all day Friday. Services for Escanova are going to begin Saturday morning at 11 from the McGoffin County Funeral Home. With that said, we hope to see you back here tomorrow night. Thank you for watching.